I've watched the videos. I've read your comments. I've seen your opinions. Now let's talk about it. So many of you have been reaching out saying, hey, Riley, I hope you still do your videos where you do Behind the Look. Like, oh my God. Welcome back to Behind the Look here on my channel. And so many of you guys have been asking for this video. Some of you who watch my channel regularly, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I am a fashion designer. I'm an entertainer. I'm the best friend of Monique Samuels. So if you tuned in to talk about this dress, that's what we're going to talk about. All right. It's so interesting to me because those of you who watch, like I said, you probably knew this video was coming. And I actually was going to talk about it anyway, but now I'm even more thrilled to talk about it because, you know, there was so much discourse online about this dress. And what's so funny, I will say this. I'll start off by saying I knew there would be people that didn't like the dress. And I knew there would be, I knew it would probably be polarizing. I didn't realize it was going to be this much. It's so funny because the day before, I will say, okay, the day before the dresses were announced, Monique's dress dropped first. But the day before that, her makeup artist, Jeff, who will be on the channel soon, and we will talk about all the looks we've done this season. But Jeff, who is also known on Instagram as Makeup Machine, he said to me, oh, I'm so nervous because I know people are going to talk about the dress. And I was just like, I think people who love the dress are going to love it for the same reason as the people who hate the dress. And that's because it's just different. And wow. The internet is a very unkind place. And let me just be very clear with you. I have been on the internet since, social media has the inception of social media. I'm a public figure. I am, an entertainer. I have heard all kinds of scrutiny. I've heard people talk so many things and say so many things and make think pieces and write, really nasty comments about things. So I can handle it. And I'm also an artist. So I will say that I believe this to my core. Art, the thing that makes art so interesting is that it is debatable and everybody has an opinion about it. And once I put art out into the world, it's not really my own anymore. It's for the rest of the world. And that's the gift that God gave me. And that's my gift to the world is my art. And so I'm absolutely not offended by the comments. And I even said to Jeff, I was just like, listen, they talk about you today. They love you today. They hate you tomorrow. Both days I got paid. Both days you got paid. And that's kind of the approach. But also, I will say that I'm not mad that people don't like it. I'm like, and it's so funny because there are so many people that have written in my comments in past videos saying, Riley, you don't miss. You don't miss. You don't miss. And I'm like, I miss all the time. You guys just see it. I don't think of this as a miss. I think of this as, really just my client's super happy. We were on theme. We were, we got people talking. It was fantastic. We had fun. It is very well constructed, and we're going to get into that in just a bit. All the architecture that it took to put this dress together and the origin of the dress and everything. We'll get into that in just a second. But I definitely had to start this video off by saying, I'm not mad. And if you were mad for me or were like, I don't know, like feeling some type of way because you love me or because you love Monique, don't. We're fine. We are absolutely fine. I just think it's so funny. I mean, and here's the other thing. There were also people online who had their opinion, but then there are also people that were speculating as to how this could have possibly happened. Monique had one of the best dresses at her last reunion, the yellow dress that Riley also designed. And so it's the same dream team. How the hell could this have happened? Oh my God. And something must have went wrong because maybe she was trying to please her and maybe the blah, 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 and maybe you got to listen to your gut and not what the client says and all stuff. And I was just like, were you guys there? Were you guys in the fittings? This is wild work to me. It's funny. All right, let's just start talking about how the dress that broke the internet came to be. So as you know, a lot of you know, if you followed me, or Monique, you know that we've been friends for like 23 years, and we've been working together for since her last reunion, the yellow dress. In fact, that yellow dress started my design career for other people. But I've always designed clothes for everybody. I mean, excuse me, for myself that I wore on stage as a Beyonce impersonator. So the dress came about. This is how it started. I've done everything for her for the 10th season that she decided to return to RHOP, Real Housewives of Potomac. And, you know, when she sat down with me, she said, I want to just wear Knox Couture. And she's like, I was one of the first people that she told because for that very reason. And the dress, we have done all the confessional looks, and for a lot of people in the design world or in the RHOP fan or any Real Housewives franchise, the reunion is like the Super Bowl of the season. And so I basically had been waiting because we always get a color. You know, there's always a color or a theme. And so we were waiting to see what that color or what that theme would be. We had speculation as to what it could have been based on what has been in the past, what colors they've already done. And we were all speculating that it would be red, and we were right. So that's why I'm wearing red today, because the color theme was red. And it's funny because we were speculating, and then the very next day we got the itinerary or the mood board for what it could possibly be. And the mood board said wearable art. And, you know, I'm an artist first before I was a fashion designer. So it was like, okay, red, that's a very shocking color. What are we going to do? What are our thoughts on it? So one day Monique and I went to lunch, and we sat down and we basically talked about, what do you want for the reunion? What do you see yourself? And Monique said to me, you know, a little bit of the backstory here. Before Monique's divorce, she, what sparked her awakening or her healing journey, I should say, that led to a divorce, but also led to so many other amazing things in her life, was that she went to Egypt and she visited the pyramids, and it was life-changing for her. And it just sparked this, like I said, spiritual awakening and this healing journey in her. And I'm so proud of her because that's what's been going on in her life. And she's been doing so amazing. She's her true self, but that's another story. And if you haven't got her book, I'll grab it in a second and show you guys. But if you haven't gotten her book, please get her book. I was like, yeah, what do you want to do? And she's like, I want to basically have it look like I'm sitting on a throne that is the shape of a pyramid, like an upside down triangle. I want a big triangle behind me, like I'm just like it stands up by itself. And I was like, huh, I don't get that. Okay. And she's like, no, like she described it to me in more detail. And I was like, oh, okay. So I sat down and I made a sketch. Here's the sketch right here. This is the original sketch. It's very rare that I make a sketch for some reason and stick to that sketch, but all right, here we go. It turned out exactly like the sketch. And it's so funny because I had made this sketch and I had it for a while and I just did not show it to her. And I was kind of like, I don't know if this is what she's looking for. Because once we, for her video Drag Queens, we did a leg piece that was all like metallic, and it made it look like she was like a robot, half person, like softer side. And it was just, what are we gonna do? Like, she's like, I want to do that. She was very clear on what she wanted. And so I brought it all to life, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of seeing it. All right, so you want it to be big and wide and all of that? I was like, okay, well, let's do it, right? And so I basically proposed to her that I wanted to make this, I wanted to do the giant triangle behind her, but I wanted it to be not shiny. I did not want to do the typical dress that you see, the pageant type of dresses, the sparkly dresses with the nude sheer illusion. And I didn't want to do that. I've done it a billion times. We've seen it, it's overdone. We wanted to do something that that was true to her, especially since the theme was wearable art, but also very avant-garde, very fashion forward. So I feel like the people who got it, because there's tons of people that got it, and then there's tons of people that did not get it. And I think there are people that are used to, especially if you're a Bravo fan or if you are a Housewives fan, that you're just used to always seeing that same type of dress. And so that's what you think a reunion dress is. But we wanted to push past that. And I'd already done all these sparkly dresses. And so I said to her, I was like, I want to do velvet. I want to use a red velvet, and I want the triangle in the back to be red velvet. I want to mimic the triangle in the front, but I want that to be all metal, since she wanted this metal leg. So I wanted to tie the two together. And I just decided I was going to make the entire dress, the drape of the skirt and everything, and the bodice, all in the red velvet, and the accent pieces would be the one on the front and the leg. And so that's what we decided on. And yeah, velvet. And she was just like, yeah, I think velvet would be perfect for that. And this is the thing for me. I love velvet because if you're a designer, you know this. I mean, even if you're into fashion, you just know this. Velvet eats the light. It sucks up the light, especially black velvet. But like velvet itself just eats up the light and it absorbs it. And it just kind of looks really smooth. And that was the look that I wanted. I just didn't want a lot of sparkle and just craziness. We already got this geometric shape. We've already got this leg and this, like, all the crystals and the sparkles and stuff was just like, let's not do that. And so that's what we decided on. Next thing was, okay, how big do you want this giant triangle, this upside down pyramid? And she was like, I want it huge. I want it like to look like I'm sitting on a throne. I want it behind me. So I made an initial one and I took a picture of it, and she drew over the picture and said no, and made it even bigger. And I was just like, oh, we're doing that. Okay. And she was like, and the funny thing is I had drawn it that big, but I mean, it was just kind of like, okay, we're really going for it. Okay, fine. Let's just go for it. If we're going to do it, let's do it. And so I had to figure out, how am I going to get this thing to stand up on its own? How am I going to get this thing to be, its own piece? It cannot be detachable, because if it's detachable, it may not go on all the way every single time. And also, it's just like, I'm like, if it's detachable, it might fall off. And then here's the other thing. I need it to be lightweight so that it's not a burden for her to carry around. I need to stand up on its own and have the structure. And then I need to transport it to New York, which is where the reunion is filmed. So it was like, okay, like, how are we going to get it there? I'll worry about that later. Like, we'll worry about that later. How am I going to get this thing to stand up? And I came up with the idea that it will stand up if it's made of a specific type of foam that I have used before. I used this once when I did a dress for Hope Giselle. And it will stand up if it's made of that material with boning. So and then it can also collapse, but also like it'll spread back out once it's opened up, and it won't just be, and then adding the velvet on top of it and making sure that you don't see through all of that. It was definitely a challenge there. And the boning definitely helped it to stay up perfectly. But so then you wouldn't even have known that, because it's just, that's how thin the foam is. But then the other thing was, okay, if I put this on a regular bodice or regular corset, it's not going to be strong enough to stay up. So now I have to build an infrastructure underneath the corset that is made of that same foam, that's just as sturdy, that's going to, one, suck her in and give her that shape, but also going to accommodate this ginormous triangle. And so I had to do that. So I basically had to, it was a lot of work. The most work came in the structure itself. And that's what you can see here in this video. All right. So a lot has happened since the last time I showed you guys.
I have created this very stiff corset out of foam. Why, you say? Why out of foam? Because in the sketch, there is a huge triangle, which, by the way, I've already made. But there's a huge triangle that goes behind her. And in order to support that triangle behind her, this cannot just be made of fabric. This has to be made of something stiff enough to hold that. So it's made of the same material. And that's what I did. There is no zipper on the back. The zipper is on the side, which I'm still sewing. Just because that's the only way to get into it. Because, again, it's going to be a triangle on the back. So yeah, that's what's going on. There's going to be another triangle on the front. And here's that triangle. But that triangle is going to be made of metallic. This triangle is made, this corset is going to be made of velvet. So now that I have made this corset out of foam, I have to make it again out of velvet. Red velvet, to be exact. So here we go.
All right, so there's that. And then I thought, well, how is she going to get in it? How is she going to get into this? So I thought, okay, I'm going to have to put the zipper on the side. I can't put it in the back. This all has to be one whole piece. Like act as one piece, but it was really two pieces because, as you can see in the video, the triangle is attached. And the triangle is not a full triangle. It doesn't go to a point at the bottom because she wouldn't have been able to sit down. That was the other thing. She has to be able to sit in this thing. She has to not only be able to sit in this thing, walk in this thing, stand in this thing. It has to look good both standing up and sitting down. And it was a lot of velvet, yes, but it worked out. It did work out. But the story behind the velvet is I walked into a store. I got a sample of a velvet that no one was buying. And they had bought a ton of red velvet because I guess they thought that people were going to be using this velvet for Christmas. And it was like a few days before Christmas and no one had bought this. They had like 25 yards of it. And I was okay. I'll just give me a little sample of it, right? It was very reasonably priced, beautiful fabric. Went back to the store and I said, I need that fabric. Where is it? And the woman's like, oh no, we sold it. And she's like, oh, we don't have it. I said, no, you did just had it like days ago. And they're like, no, we don't have it. And I was just like, yes, you do. There's no way that it's sold out. And then this woman says, oh, someone came and they bought it all. I was like, no, that didn't happen. Not at this store. No, this did not happen. A woman came from the back. She was eating lunch. She still had food in her mouth. She came up to me and she says, hey, you looking for the red velvet? She's like, yeah, we sold it all. She's like, in fact, I'm the one who sold it. This woman came, she needed 30 yards of it. We only had 25. And she was basically using it to drape something or decorate some Christmas party. She bought the entire box, the entire bolt of it, this huge bolt of it. And I was like, what? They had nothing comparable to it. All the other stores that I went to didn't have it except for one store. One store that I will not name is very overpriced here in the DMV area. And they had the fabric, except it was made of a different material. It was made of silk. And it was extremely expensive. I mean, when I say like extremely expensive, we're talking like $15 a yard versus like $89 a yard. And I needed more than just 1 yard, people. So I thought, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and do it. That's going to have to be part of the budget. And that's what we did. I got the silk. So it's a very beautiful, someone said something about it looks like it's cheap or made of, no, actually it's extremely expensive. The fabric itself was made of silk. Beautiful if you saw it in person, beautiful, even beautiful in videos and to touch. It's absolutely gorgeous. And draped so pretty. It's a non-stretch fabric. And I need it to be non-stretch because I need it to really hold its structure on the bodice, but I also put that foam underneath. So there was that. And then I had to make the triangle. That triangle did not bend. And so I placed it with Velcro because I wanted her to be able to place it wherever she wanted it. Monique likes to show a lot of boob. She's like, I got them. I might as well show them. And so that's what we did. And yeah, here is a little bit from our fittings and how that went, because Monique saw it in video and she was like, I don't know about that. That's a lot of velvet. And then she saw it in person and she's like, oh, it's everything. I love it. Absolutely.
Wait,
okay.
Should I do this
so yeah,
one?
so let's twist. See if we can twist it. Okay. So. God.
He's gonna end up with a little Tina.
Okay. I think what I'm gonna have to do is.
It just needs a ruching effect.
Oh, well, you just want to do that. I think what it is there's this fabric right here underneath that's holding it, and if I set this free, this will let this drape.
Okay, let's try that. But also, it does need some type of pinch here.
Okay. So we need to fix. Okay, can we take this off and then figure it out?
Take what off?
This. Because you're not gonna be able to get. I can't get to.
Oh, okay. Let me do this. Let me look at it one more time so I can find the right spot.
Okay.
Because this is the effect that I'm looking for.
The reason this isn't draping is because there's another piece of fabric here that
underneath.
needs to set it free.
But I still
so that it can still
figure
do
out
this.
Okay.
Dude, this has to be the craziest emo.
Oh, it's pretty in the back.
What is this one?
You can't see. You can't see.
it.
Dad, look at it.
Excuse me.
Stop.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is the effect that I wanted it to have in the front. Do you have like a safety pin where I can just pinch it here and hold it, and then you can figure out how?
Pinch what?
Cheeks.
Let's see what it is.
That's the outside.
Is it downside?
No, in the back.
This one goes here.
No, this one goes. Yes.
This is here if I do these.
Yes, and this.
I don't know.
Put both of these on and see what happens.
I feel like I need to wear them backwards.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, hold on. I wear them backwards.
Some more.
Coverage. That's it. What is this going to do?
Wait, what? Oh, yeah.
Well, it won't go down. Like it's not going to bend down.
Is that supposed
But
to
when
stay
you're
like
sitting,
this?
well, it was because it was underneath here. It was higher.
Oh, okay. So we'll make sure it's just
Up higher.
Up higher.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
1 plus speed.
And
No,
then
we have
this
to make it
part,
the right length. So.
this part does.
Well, you want me to just? I can just pin that back
Plus
to.
speed.
Hold this.
Hospital escape.
Oh, here you go.
Oh, it says
I'm gonna
1
pin
plus speed
this one back
hospital.
So it'll be bunched up in there like that.
So like, let me see, come over here.
There's like a crazy
this.
thing that out. Wait.
Again.
Oh yeah.
No one has to have a regular dress.
Yeah, this is close. Straight up wearable art.
And you know what I said to Isis? I was like, I'm so sick of seeing them same nude with crystal overlay.
So boring.
Nude illusion.
boring.
It's the same dress
So
on
safe
every
and
show.
So boring. No, but I literally saw this dress when me and Jeff were on the train, and I was like, a triangle and a triangle.
And
then
Egypt is where the pyramid is where you got.
And I've been wanting to do this leg situation since Drag Queen's video.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So.
Oh yeah, because remember that was very true.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what we got.
So now
we'll bring this.
And then I had to transport this dress to New York. Now, here's the thing. This is the funny thing. The interesting thing about this is usually even if I am going to be with Monique, I always like for her to have the garment on her person, like on herself, like have it with her, simply because what if something happens and I can't make it and she is there? Like, I don't typically always need to be there, although she likes me there, and I do need to be there because I'm the one that knows how to, finagle and put it on and make it work and tie her up into everything and zip her up and everything, whatever. And I might need to make adjustments while we're there, right? Even though we have the fittings and all of that. And so she's like, yeah, just bring it with you when you come to New York. What? How am I getting this here? And how is she getting it home? Oh my God. But thank the Lord Jesus. No, thank God. I somehow made it so well that I was able to, I had to put a pillow that is a decorative pillow for my bed. It's a long pillow inside so that it wouldn't crush. And then I had to carry, I just had that, got on the train at like 5 a.m. and was in New York by like 8. And we had an amazing time glamming for the reunion. And guess what? You're going to see all of that in my next video. So please make sure that you like and subscribe to this video, because the next video is going to be all the behind the scenes in the dressing room, putting the dress on, makeup, hair, literally our shenanigans, all of it. It's all there. My adventure. It's the whole vlog, and it's so much fun. But I will say in closing in this video, listen, like I said, they love you today, hate you tomorrow. Both days you got paid. I'm not concerned with whether people liked it or not. I did my job. My client loved it. And I love that you guys talked about it so much, because it got me a lot of attraction and attention. But not just that. I mean, I love it. I love putting artwork out there. And if you like it, you do. I've never been somebody that, like, I'm not a words of affirmations type of person. I'm not a, you know, if you like it, that's going to make me happy. But if I know I did my best, if I love and I can stand by it, and I know that it's quality work, and, you know, there are people that just won't get it. Funny enough, like, a lot of the Drag Race girls loved it. You know, a lot of people, like a lot of the people that are in fashion loved it. Because the thing is it's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be perfect and whatever. And I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in always making things that are perfect. In fact, it only fueled me more to want to make things that push the envelope even more, because there's really nothing new under the sun. And coming up with new ideas as far as fashion, how many times are we going to do that same strapless, sparkly dress that is completely see-through? You know, and the thing is, we went into this saying they're either going to love it or they're going to hate it. We don't care. We love it. We love what we did, and we love how we interpreted the theme, which was wearable art. Not everybody stayed on theme, but I thought all the ladies looked beautiful. And some of those dresses, if you saw them in person, oh my God, absolutely stunning. Stunning. And a lot of you guys didn't like those dresses. It's okay. I'm not interested in always being on the best dress list. I'm not interested in making everybody happy. I'm interested in making my clients happy, and I'm interested in staying true to what I do. And, you know, whether you love it or not, I still appreciate the support. I appreciate the engagement. I appreciate all of it. You know, the thing for me is I've been on stage for 25 years, and there are people that, you know, absolutely love what I do and think, oh my God, you are the best. You are the #1 Beyonce impersonator. You're so incredible. Love what you do. And there are people that are like, she can't dance. And then there are people like, oh, you know, yeah, it was okay, but whatever. It's, I'm never going to please everybody. I'm not interested in pleasing everybody. I'm just not. In life, I'm not interested in pleasing everybody. I'm interested in knowing my work ethic, and you guys have seen me on the show. I work very hard at what I do, and I am so grateful, because the experience, it's one thing to have experiences with your friends where you're just hanging out and being cool and stuff, but when you have a working relationship with someone that has been one of the most amazing people in your life for 23 years, and you guys have so much fun, and she trusts you, and she trusts my artistry to know that I can do anything. Whatever she throws at me, she knows I'm going to make it happen. She was not interested in how the hell I was going to make this thing stand up at all, but she knew that I could. And sometimes I explain it to her, and she's like, oh, wow. She has no clue sometimes until she watches this footage back, if she does watch it. And I just love that, because this is a woman who has loved me before I knew how to love myself. I say it all the time, and always pushed me to show the world my artistry and to be the best that I can be. That's what that woman did for me. And I'm so grateful that we get to have these experiences. I mean, I'm telling you, me, her, and Jeff, first of all, meet her and her daughter, Milani, in our fittings, and actually all of her kids in the fittings. We have the best time. And when we get together, and we're glamming on the day of with Jeff, her makeup artist. And sometimes Jeff is in on the actual design aspect of it too. He has a lot of input too. And we just work, the three of us work so well together. And I'm going to have Jeff on the channel in a couple videos. and we're going to talk about our whole working relationship with Monique and together, because he and I are friends also. And yeah, it's just all love, and it's just all like, we just have the best time. And I wish this for everybody. I mean, I absolutely love what I do, and I love art more than anything in the world. I love art. I believe in two things more than anything in the world. I believe in art, and I believe in love. And my love for art is the biggest thing in my life. I love art more than anything ever. Art first over everything else. But I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching. Thanks for sitting with me through this. A lot of you wanted this. Here it is. And I will see you guys in the next video. I think you guys are going to really love this one. It is all the behind the scenes on the day of the reunion, and all of our shenanigans and all our craziness. And so make sure that you subscribe so that you can see the next video, turn the notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love you. Bye.